Hey guys, it's Kaz here, aka Cats and Camera, and today I'm doing my April wrap up. So for the past 3 months I'd always had a TBR, a set TBR, but in April I could just read what I wanted and I read 9 things. It's kind of nice sometimes after being set to a TBR to just be able to pick up whatever you want. So first up I read Because You Love to Hate Me, which is an anthology of a bunch of different people, edited by Anne-Marie. This one, very hit and miss for me, as are most anthologies. I'm not really a massive anthology fan because there's always ones that are not that great. So they kind of, you'll read a really good one and then you'll be like, oh, that's not great. That's alright. That's alright. That's not great. Oh, a good one. So they're not my go-to thing, anthologies. But, I mean, Andrew Smith had a story in here, so I had to pick it up. That's literally the reason. If he didn't have one in here, I probably would not have bought it. I can't really remember what any of them are called or who the authors were, but I did do a review where I talked about every story on its own. If you want to check that out on Goodreads, my Goodreads link is down below. I'm writing reviews for all the books I read now. I used to just star rate them, but I'm actually writing stuff now because I just forget what happens in books. So I need to write something so I can click on it and remember. Obviously Andrew Smith's one was awesome. I also really enjoyed Victoria Schwab. I've never read a Victoria Schwab book, but when I read her story in here I was like, you know what? I need to pick some of her stuff up. I've been wanting to for a while, but after actually reading her story, I thought it was awesome. It was one of my favourite ones. Adam Silvera's was weird because it was all written in second person. I was like, what? That is not Adam Silvera. That's not his voice. Like I say, a lot of them were kind of easily forgettable or not that great. Check out my review if you want to find out what I thought about them, because I can't remember what all of the authors wrote. It's too hard, it was too long ago. Next up, keeping in the theme of pink, I read Deadly Class Volume 5. This is Carousel. This one I didn't enjoy as much as the other ones. I don't know if it's just because I've reread the other ones recently before I read this, so I was like more pumped about what happened in them ones. And then this one came along and I think you can tell a lot more that the artist has changed, because the first 3 were done by one artist. The one before this was done by this second artist, but I didn't notice as much. I feel like he purposefully kept his style more to the first 3. But now on this one he's gone even further away from it and I'm just like, what? Get away from me, give me the proper style of Deadly Class. There's just like, there's too many colours in each panel, and Deadly Class, what was so good about it was like it would be one colour but just loads of different tones of it, and it was just really cool and it fit with the atmosphere of it. But it's changed now. And also the story, we have a bunch of new characters, so obviously I don't really know them very well. And also I spoiled myself because when I bought this I noticed the cover for volume 6 and the cover has massive spoilers on it, so I was like, ugh, I know what's going to happen now. So when something in here happened that was meant to be like exciting and climactic, I already knew what was going to happen because of the cover of the next one. So, but I still enjoyed it, and obviously I'm going to carry it on because I do really like this series. This is a graphic novel series about a school for assassins set in the 80s. Next up, this was something that is on my books I want to read in 2018 videos, but I had no sort of clue that I was going to read it in April. What I did was I noticed somebody on Instagram mention these books, saying they really liked them, and I was like, I really want to go and pick that up now. And then I did. Like 5 minutes later I just went to my bookshelf and picked it up. You probably know what I'm talking about because I did a video about rereading books. I'll link that. And that is the All for the Game series by Nora Sakavic. I just accidentally went and picked these books up and read them all. But they're so good. This series is so good. I'm so glad I reread it. Like I say, it was something I wanted to do anyway, but I didn't know I was going to do it in April. It kind of happened. But this is one of my favourite series and it stayed that way on the reread. I just enjoyed it so much, and when I reread it I loved it just as much, maybe even more, because I knew the character arcs and you can kind of see little things that happen between certain different characters and how all of them interact, and know what it means because further down the line in the series. Oh, it's just so good, and I really like rereading stuff now. But this follows Neil, who has been on the run for a long time, and he gets recruited to be in this Exy team, which is a made-up sport. And this team is basically just a bunch of sort of rejects and ragtag group that have all had bad things happen to them or have done bad things. And it's just about them all just being angry and bitter at the world, but also at each other and themselves. But trying to make it work because they really need the Exy wins. And it's about crime because Neil's been running from his criminal father. I think they're all like 99p on ebook, so you literally have no excuse. Go and read this series now. Next up, I finally did it. I've been wanting to read this for ages, I've had it for ages, I finally did it. I read Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, yes. And I really enjoyed this. I liked it a lot more than Shadow and Bone series. I really liked the original Grisha trilogy, but also there was something about it that wasn't captivating to me. But this one, as soon as I met each of the characters, I was like, yes, I really like that person. Yes, they're awesome. Yes, give me more of their backstory. Yes, I want to know more about them. Yes, they're awesome. It's just, that is what makes a good book. The characters, and all of these characters are so interesting and so quirky and cool, and I really enjoyed it. And I didn't really know what was happening. The only thing I've ever heard people say is, this book is about a heist. So I didn't know anything about what they were heisting or how they were going to heist it. So it was really interesting, and there was loads of cool stuff that happened as well. Next up, I read Autobiography by Christina Lauren. This is also one that I've had since Christmas, and I don't know why I've only just picked it up. But this was so good. I give it 5 stars. I loved it. It made me cry several times. It's about Tanner, who has moved to this really Mormon part of Utah, and he's trying to write a book in a few months, like write a book in a semester. And it's about him and this other guy, Sebastian, who is helping out in the workshop, and their relationship. Sebastian is a Mormon, and it's all about religion and writing and relationship, and it's really cute, and it's sad, and then it's cute again, and then it's sad again. It's just really good, and the way Mormons are portrayed in here is really respectful. They don't try and damn them purposefully, and it's cool because we get both of the characters kind of turning their opinions, or not necessarily turning them, but seeing how closed off their opinions are. So Tanner's mum ran away from the Mormon religion, so he's only heard bad things, so he's always had all these negative connotations, and it's about him kind of realising that they're really nice people and they do a lot of nice stuff as well. And obviously Sebastian has been brought up in the religion and he loves it, and it's all about all the nice stuff. And then it's him kind of coming to terms with the fact that, yeah, they do have really shitty opinions on LGBTQ people. So it's really cool that you get to see different people and their opinions, but it's all done in a respectful way and in a way that's not like pointing the finger and damning a whole religion. It's really good. You should check it out if you haven't read it already. And this cover's so pretty. Next up, I read Someday This Pain Will Be Useful to You by Peter Cameron. This one is random because it's told in the space of a couple of days, but also sort of like a month or two before. It follows this boy James, who is 18, and it's pretty much just him talking about his life. It's only, like I say, it follows a couple of days, but it's about him deciding that he don't want to go to university, but his mum wants him to force him, and so does his dad. And it's about his mental health and depression and feeling sad even though you're from a really well-off family. And yeah, he's not very likeable, but I think it's a good book to show that you don't need a reason or a bad thing to have happened to you to be depressed. That's not how depression works. Anyone can be depressed. It doesn't matter that they come from a well-off family or they've got a job where they don't really have to do much because it's just given to them by a family member. You can still feel sad, and sometimes you don't know why you feel sad. So yeah, in that sense, I liked it. It's a very weird book though, the way I don't know, it's weird. Just because not really much happens, but sometimes you don't need a massive climax and massive things to go against. It's just kind of talking. And the bits that are from a few months ago are James talking to his therapist and about this incident that happened on this school trip kind of thing. It's different, I'll say that. But I liked it. And last but not least, I read The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 5. This is Unintended Consequences. This is the first time I've ever read Spider-Man. and obviously it's volume 5 and it's The Amazing Spider-Man, so it's when he's older. But I grabbed this cheap a while ago, found it for like a couple of pounds. I enjoyed it. I really like the artwork because it's really, I always like the sort of clean, bold artwork in here, so I did really enjoy that. The story was okay. In this volume there are 2 different storylines in here. One of them is like 3 issues long and the other one's 2 issues long. I enjoyed them both. They were alright. It wasn't the best thing I've ever read. Maybe I would have to be more versed in Spider-Man, or maybe it's just not the best volume, I don't know, but it was alright. So that was the 9 things that I read in April. I gave 4 of them 5 stars, so pretty decent reading month, I would say. Let me know in the comments what you read in April, or if you've read any of the books that I have, then let me know down below. Or if now you want to check out something, cough cough, or for the game if you haven't read it already, read it now, then let me know. If this is your first video by me and you enjoy it, then please check out some of my others. And if you continue to enjoy them, then please subscribe, that'd be awesome. Anyway guys, I'll see you in a few days with another video.